Okay, today in this video I'm going to go over UIL Number Sense test, High School Test A from 2016. And I'm going to go over the first column, which is the first 18 problems, 1 through 18. And then I'm going to have some bonus problems from the second column. So if you hang around to the end, I'll cover some bonus problems that you might like, some special tricks today. So let me just go over a few basic rules. This is a 10-minute test, and all problems are to be solved accurately and quickly in the order which they appear. There's 80 problems. All problems are to be solved mentally, so this is mental math. Make no calculations with paper and pencil. Write only the answer in the space provided. So I'm going to go over some of the rules. I will be making notes on the margin, but that's just to explain the problem. You cannot write on the margins. You cannot write anything on the side, just only the answer. Okay, so problem number 1, 116 plus 611. You can add 6 plus 1, that's 7. 1 plus 1, that's 2. And 1 plus 6 is 7. 727 is the correct answer. You could have also added 100 plus 600 right to 700, and 16 plus 11 is 27. It's the same thing. Now, for number 2, 345 minus 612, typically students are going to say, okay, make this a 12. The answer is going to be negative. So you're going to have 12 minus 5. It's going to be 7. And then you're going to have 10 minus 4 is 6. And then the 6 becomes a 5 since you borrowed. 5 minus 3 is 2. Negative 267. Now off to the margin here, I'm going to show you a way that maybe if you don't like to borrow, I always say students shouldn't borrow because they don't repay. So maybe what we could do is add 55 to the 345 to make it 400. Add 55 to both. So 612 plus 55, you're going to have 5. So you're going to have 667 minus the 400, that's negative 267. So all I'm doing is I add, why 55? Because I want to make this an even 100. To make it an even 400, I add 55 there, so I add 55 there. I add 55 on both. And if you do it this way, you're adding 55, and you do not have to borrow. And it might be an easier way to subtract. And we'll use this again later if we run into a problem like that. Okay, so problem number 3, 116 times 5. You can do 5 times 16, that's 80. And 5 times 1 is 5. So 580 is the answer. Repeating 4s, that's 4 over 9. And if it was repeating in 2 digits, you would put it over 99 and so on. 36% is 36 over 100. Reduced by 4, that would be 9 over 25. 36 over 100 is 9 over 25. 14 squared is 196. You can memorize that. Or you could do it a different way. If you don't know your squares, I recommend that you memorize maybe the first 25 or 30 squares. But if you have to work it out, there is a way that you can work this out. So another way of squaring 14, if you didn't know it, you could subtract 4 to get 10, and then add 4 to get 18. So you have 10 times 18 is 180. But since you add 4 and subtract 4, you got to make up for that 4. So that's adding 4 squared, which is 16. So 180 plus 16 gives you the 196. This is another way to square a number if you have not memorized it. Takes a little bit longer. I recommend that you memorize the smaller numbers like that. Okay, number 7, you have 16. 16 divided by 4. 4 goes into 16 4 times, and then 4 goes into 1, 0, and then 4 into 16 is 4. So that'd be 404. Number 8, we need to use the order of operations, multiply and divide first. So you're going to have 12 times 6, 72 divided by 3 is 24. Or you could do 6 divided by 3 is 2, times 12 is 24. So regardless, you're going to have 9 minus 24. So it looks like you have to borrow. What I would do is add 10 to add 1 to each one to make that 10 minus 25, and that would be negative 15. Is it easier to do 10 minus 25, or is it easier for you to do 9 minus 24? Either way, you could do it either way. 2 1/8 as a decimal. 1/8 you should memorize is 0.125. So that'd be 2.125. Number 10 is a start problem. So anytime you have a start problem, it's an approximation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round off to the nearest 100. So I have 1600 plus 1600 is 3200. And then I'm going to have 1200. So 32 plus 12 is 4400. Plus 10 more would be 5400 or 5500. Either way, it's an approximation. We'll go to 5400. Number 11, 1 1/6 plus 2 3/4. I need to get a common denominator of 12. 1/6 would be 2 over 12. So mentally you're going to think 2 over 12. And this would be 9 over 12. So you add 2 plus 9, that's going to be 11 over 12. And then you're going to have 1 plus 2 is 3. Number 12, 65 times 25. Well, 25 is 100 over 4. So if I take 1/4 of 65, I know that 4 goes into 4 16 times, and I have remainder 1. So 1 over 25. So that would be just 25. So all you do is divide by 4. And if your remainder 1 is 25, remainder 2 is 50, remainder 3 is 75. So number 13, 345 divided by 9 is what is a mixed number? Well, let's find the remainder first. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 3 is 12. So the sum of the digits is 12. 12 divided by 9 gives you 1, remainder 3. 3 9ths is actually 1/3. So then I have to carry a 1, and I add 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8, and then bring down the 3. So the answer here should be 38 1/3. So for number 13, if I'm dividing 345 divided by 9, the sum of the digits gives you the remainder. And then we add these two, and then just the first one. So I did 3 plus 4 plus 5, that's 12. 12 divided by 9 is going to be 1 1/3. So I'll have the 1/3, and I carry a 1. So 3 plus 4 is 7, plus the 1 is 8. And then I just bring down the 3. So that's how you divide by 9. Okay, for number 14, 15% of 44. I could double in half, and I would have 30% of 44, or 30% times 44. Actually, if I double in half, it'd be 30% of 22. You double this one and half this one. So 30% is 0.3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 0.3 times 22. 3 times 22 is 66, but I have 0.3, so my decimal goes right there. 6.6 is the correct answer. Which is larger, 0.63 or 5/8? 5/8 is 0.625, so 0.63 would be larger. Now, in the rules of number sense, you cannot write 0.63. It has to be 0.63. So if somebody was to write the answer the way it is there, that would be incorrect. 0.63 is correct. Roman numerals. How do you change that to an Arabic numeral? M is 1,000, so you have 1,000. D is 500, and C is 100. So 5 plus 1 is 600. And then you have VI, 1,606, 06. The GCD of 35, 56, and 70. Well, 35 goes into 70. So we can actually roll out to 70, since all the factors of 35 are in 70. So really it's between 35 and 56. 7 times 5, 7 times 8. Looks like 7 goes into both, and that would be your greatest common factor. 7 goes into all of them. And so the answer was 7 for that one. For number 18, they want the answer in inches. So if you want the answer in inches, I would say convert everything to inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. And this is already in 6 inches, so minus 6, minus 12. And then 2 yards, 1 yard is 3 3 feet, which is 3 times 12 is 36 inches per yard. So 36 times 2, you're going to have 72 here. 72 minus 12 is 60, and then 60 minus 6 is 54. So your answer there is 54 inches. Now, that's going to be it for the first column. And now, since you're still here, we're at 10-minute mark, we need about a couple of bonus problems that I'm going to give you. I'm going to take a look at a couple of problems here on this test from the second column that I particularly like these shortcuts and want to go over these with you. Number 23, when you have a number squared and then 3 times the number squared, you could add 144 plus 16, or you could say 16 times 10. The answer for number 23 was 160. What happens here is you have x squared here, and over here you have 3x quantity squared. So that's 9x squared plus x squared. That would be 10x squared. So all you have to do is take this number squared, 16, and then times 10. And that's the shortcut anytime you have 3x and x. Okay. As a bonus problem, let's look at number 34, where you're adding the odds 1, 3, 5, 7 up to 19. So for this one, you have 19 plus 1 divided by 2. This gives you the number of terms. This gives you n. And the formula would be n squared. So 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 10 squared is 100. How cool is that? Now, if you like these shortcuts, hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And hit the bell for notifications, as I will be adding more videos like these. And leave any notes in the comments. Let me know what school you're from, where you're from. If you're from Texas, if you're outside of Texas, let me know. Just leave it there in the comments, and we'll make a shout out on the next video for you. So for now, that's going to be it, and we'll see you on the next video.